In this video, I'm going to tell you about 23 of the best accessories that I own for the GoPro Max. I've tried to group them in some logical order, and I've also listed chapter times and product links in the description below. So let's get straight to it. There are a couple of things that I would buy straight away just to help you protect your camera. Now I know the Max comes with 2 lens caps, but they are easy to lose and very cheap to replace, so I'd definitely get a couple of spares. If you lose a lens cap while you're shooting, you'll end up scratching your lens really easily. The next thing that should be protected is your LCD screen. The touch screen on the Max is the best out of all the 360 cameras out there, and you don't want to damage it. These screen protectors are cheap and easy to apply. Now you're almost ready to shoot, but the GoPro Max doesn't come with a tripod mount adapter, it only has the fold out GoPro fingers. At some point you'll want to attach it to a 1/4 inch thread, and for that you'll need a GoPro to 1/4 inch mount adapter. I think all of the GoPro tripod adapters that you buy are offset, which is no good for 360, as the camera needs to be straight above the selfie stick. So you need to get a straight adapter like this Joby pinpoint adapter so that the selfie stick doesn't show up in your shot. If you know that you'll only ever use a threaded mount, then you can replace the finger mount base with this fixed threaded base. It's really easy to replace by just undoing these 4 screws. If you're likely to use hero mode though, then you may want to angle the camera on the selfie stick, in which case a threaded base which is fixed may not be for you, so it's worth taking that into consideration. 2 things you need to buy when you first buy your Max which give you more flexibility in your shooting and just make shooting easier are a tripod and a selfie stick. GoPro have a dedicated selfie stick for the Max, which is the Max Grip. Now this wouldn't be my first choice in a selfie stick, but this is a GoPro accessories guide after all, so I wanted to include a GoPro selfie stick just to give you more options. The benefit of this stick is that it has a tripod built in and the stick just pulls out of the centre of the tripod grip. It has a GoPro mount so your Max can attach directly to it. It's 23 cm when closed and 56 cm when it's at full extension, and the stick locks into place with a quick twist. Because it doesn't extend too high, it's less vulnerable in wind, and the tripod legs open really wide so it gives it a real stable base. It's quite a lightweight piece of kit, so it doesn't weigh you down when you carry it around, and it's really easy just to throw in your backpack. But because it is lightweight, it does make it a bit more vulnerable and unstable when you're using it on uneven ground, so I'd only use this tripod on a flat solid surface. That being said, there is a tether point at the base of this tripod that you could use to attach a weight or even peg it down onto grass. The grip feels really nice and comfortable to hold with indents to place your thumb, but it is really big with a handle width of nearly 3.5 cm, so it's not pocket friendly, and you do need to hold it at the top to ensure that it doesn't show up too much in your shots. The other GoPro selfie stick that I'd recommend is the GoPro Shorty, and as the name suggests, this selfie stick is really short. Again, the selling point of the Shorty is that it's dual function. It's good as a pocket tripod, but also has the added bonus feature of being able to extend it to create a compact selfie stick. It's extremely lightweight and just feels like next to nothing in your hands. Now you're not going to be able to get too creative with this selfie stick because fully extended it's only 23 cm long. This does mean though that you can keep your camera attached and you can just whip it out of your pocket with no setup time and start recording either in 360 or in hero mode. This makes it great for vlogging or for those times that you'd otherwise miss because you're messing around trying to set up your tripod and your selfie stick and attaching all your bits together. It does feel really cheap and lightweight, and when you place it on the ground even with no wind it still feels a little bit vulnerable, mainly because the legs don't open very far, so it sits quite high above the ground for such a small tripod. So I'd only use this as a tripod when there's no wind and it's on solid flat ground. If you want to be discreet with your selfie stick or you don't want to risk it being confiscated, then this is a good option. The final selfie stick I'll talk about in this video is the Insta360 standard selfie stick. This stick is 28 cm when closed but 118 cm when open, so it gives you much more flexibility and much more reach to get higher shots and to position the camera further away from your body. The stick has a simple to use twist locking mechanism. There's no built-in tripod with this selfie stick, but it does have a 1/4 inch thread at the base of the selfie stick so you can easily connect a tripod if you need to. I have a number of tripods for my 360 cameras, but the one I always go back to when I want to keep my kit compact is the Zeadio. The Zeadio is a cheap but really well made metal tripod. It's compact for storage with a length of just over 10 centimeters, and it's really solid and well built. The one thing I really love about the design is that you can fold the legs up, and because of the width they then become the handle of whichever selfie stick you're using, so you can just keep them attached. If you want to get even more creative with your shots and have further reach, then an extended selfie stick should be the next on your list. The Telesin extended selfie stick extends to a massive 2.7 meters and means you can use it to physically get closer to things, and you can get a lot higher to get some awesome no drone, no problem shots. A top tip when using this selfie stick is firstly to remove the bung so it doesn't show up in your shot, and secondly to hide the bend of the selfie stick in the stitch line so it doesn't show up in your shot. So position the camera on the selfie stick this way when you do your shot, and not like this. If you don't do it this way, then you run the risk of your stick showing up in your image. Now if you want to do virtual tours, or you just want to invest your money in a higher quality, more stable selfie stick that's going to last longer, then the only option that I would choose is the Bushman Monopod. The Bushman is engineered to a really high standard and it's just built to last. The version 2 monopod package comes complete with a large tripod and a counterweight to make it more stable. The monopod sections each open and lock tight in position with a smooth locking mechanism at the top of each section. And the Bushman has some really nice touches as well, such as the final monopod section, which is ultra narrow and can be rotated independently to adjust the position of the camera. The monopod when closed is relatively compact at 39.5 centimeters, and when fully extended it reaches the head height of most people at 154 centimeters. The last thing you want when you're filming is to run out of batteries, so I highly recommend buying a spare battery. If you have 2 batteries, you'll have the best part of 2 hours record time and you won't miss anything important. Now you've got more than one battery, you'll need a dual charger, but you don't need to buy the most expensive charger, which is the Gopro Max dual charger. The one I bought was a third-party charger by Telesin, which is meant for the standard GoPro batteries, but you can charge the Max batteries in it as well. You just can't close the lid. And it's £40 cheaper, so it's well worth the compromise. The main advantage in having a charger is that you can carry on filming while you're charging your batteries, otherwise you'd have to use your camera to charge your battery up. If you don't want to buy a spare battery or a charger, however, then the alternative is to buy a power bank. The power bank I use is this Anker 10,000 mAh power bank with one single USB output. And if you do run out of batteries on the field, or if you just want to shoot longer time-lapse videos over several hours, then this is the accessory you need. And you can also use it to charge up your spare battery in the charger whilst you're out filming. In order to charge the Max, you obviously have to use the USB port on the side of the camera, and to access that you need to open this door, which is pretty much the length of one side of the camera. It's hinged, so you can either take it off or you can charge your camera with it sticking out. Neither of these options are any good, so the solution that I've got is to buy the Ulanzi battery door. The Ulanzi door has a hole cut out so you can access the USB port without opening the battery door or without taking it off. Obviously it's not waterproof when you've got this door on, but it's much more convenient for charging your batteries, and especially if you're going to use a portable power bank for those longer time-lapse shots. There are dozens of different mounts you can use with your GoPro Max, and here are a few of my favourites. You can get a lot of mounts for your bike, but I haven't found one yet that's as reliable and robust as the Manfrotto Super Clamp. I've used these clamps for more than 20 years, and although they're bulky, they are really solid, and if you've got your camera attached to your bike on one of these clamps, you just know that it's not going to fall off. The first wearable mount we're going to talk about is the chest mount. The chest mount can sometimes feel a bit low, but it does still offer a good point of view position, and it keeps your hands free. It's particularly useful on a bike, and the camera feels protected because your arms are wrapping around it as they hold onto the handlebars. You can get a lot of different helmet mounts, and it depends on the type of helmet that you have as to what mount that you need. The helmet I use has vents, so in theory I should be able to use this vented helmet mount, but I found that the air vents were just too far apart and it made it a really unstable fit. In the end I modified a cheaper wrist mount, and I mounted that to the front of the helmet with an additional tie to keep it in place, and it was actually a better position anyway. To give you more versatility in where you position your camera, and also to create more distance between the camera and the surface beneath the camera, you can use these GoPro extension arms. The arms are different lengths and they can be attached directly to the camera using the GoPro finger mount, or you can use an adapter like this to change it to a 1/4 inch thread. While we are talking about adapters, the other really handy adapter to have in your kit bag is this one. This will switch your GoPro positioning on the mount by 90 degrees, And this is just really handy on some mounts where you want to switch the camera position and change it in relation to where the stitch line is. Some mounts do come off from time to time, and this can be down to just a weak mount or a user error. Either way, you can give yourself more peace of mind by using a safety wire with a carabiner. At least if your mount does fail on a handlebar mount, for example, it won't completely come off and trash your camera. There can be a lot of vibration with some mounts, particularly when you're biking on a bumpy trail. These high torque thumb bolts have a small wing that allow you to give the bowl an extra turn to make sure your fixings are extra tight. And because of the wing, they're also really easy to undo. For cinematic car shots, this next accessory is awesome, and that's the Popeye magnetic mount. The Popeye is one single magnetic base that can be put in place and removed quickly and simply, and it's coated in a rubber backing so it protects your car paintwork, and you simply place it in position and it holds tightly in place with this magnet that has a pulling force of 45 kilograms. Being called the Popeye mount, it's no surprise that it's ridiculously strong, and at the factory it was tested at speeds of 110 kilometers per hour. And you can also have fun combining two of these mounts together, so you can stick it on windows or trampolines and just get creative with it. This last mount is really compact and great for keeping in your kit bag, and that's a ground spike. The ground spike eliminates the need for a tripod when you're shooting on grass, so the tripod just won't show up in your shots. You simply attach it to a selfie stick, push it into the grass, and then attach your camera, and there will be no sign of it in your final shot, which makes your final video look even more professional. Let me know in the comments what are your favourite accessories and what accessories are now on your wish list. You can watch these two videos next. My name is Rich, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.